Welcome to another episode of the Infinite Energy Podcast. Myself and Alex are here as usual. Today with us is Lily Lee from Thornova. Really excited about this solar PV manufacturer that has made big strides in the North American market and really kind of taken over here in Canada. So welcome to the podcast, Lily.
Welcome.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Alec. Hello. Very happy to be here.
Awesome. Lily, I'm going to ask a few questions about yourself first. Most people probably don't know you yet. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Where did you grow up? What was growing up like?
My name's Lily. Actually, my Chinese name is Yu, but it's kind of hard for American to pronounce that word, so I guess maybe Lily is easier for everybody. It's my English name. Yeah. And actually myself being in the solar industry for about 16 years, believe it or not. Actually, wow. I've been in the solar industry since my first job.
Okay.
And soon after my graduating with my master degrees, I have the interview with China Sunage. Maybe, some people still remember that company. It's actually the first Chinese solar cells manufacturer.
Oh, wow.
Even earlier than Suntech. Okay, maybe somebody never heard about Suntech. I don't know. But,
I think most people know, yeah.
What at that time mainly supplied solar cells into Europe and America, like Solar World, Carnage, Central Solar, all these new brands, but they are not in the market. They're not existing anymore. Sharp. A dozen years ago, if somebody told me that about solar, I only think about Solar Worlds, Central Solar, these brands, and with the only 50 megawatts capacity each year.
Yeah.
So I'm so surprised to see that now, new suppliers start with 5 gigawatts capacity. Surprise for me. Yeah. If somebody tell me like 15 years ago, I don't believe so, but
that was like the global market wasn't even 5 gigawatts back then, right? Like if you go back 15 years or like when you started, it's barely.
If you tell me that there's a market like a 600 megawatts, we were saying, oh my God, that's a big market.
Yeah.
That's really big markets, leading markets.
Yeah.
But anyway, for myself, I was born in Wuhan, a very beautiful Asian city in Central Solar. Some people heard about Wuhan because that COVID things,
yeah,
right?
Of course,
exactly.
Yeah, it was in the news a lot.
City I am from. I born in Wuhan,
awesome.
And I went to Nanjing for college, and it's another Asian city. So I always stay in the cities with a lot of histories in China. So good for me. And I got my first job in Nanjing as well.
Wow.
And after 2016, I was 13. I lived in the United States for about 5 years till 2018. And decided to move back to Nanjing to take another job as a marketing director of Towson. So this is my general career in solar and how I grew up and study. And surprisingly, I see that now the solar be like it really focus of the like. In China, I'm so surprised to see a lot of people start to, pay attention to solar. I cannot imagine like 15 years ago when somebody asked me about solar, I would say, okay, is that a water heater or it's about a glassy or something like that?
For pool heating, right? So, that was kind of where people, the early days of solar. But yeah, I mean,
solar thermal.
Solar thermal, yeah, it's amazing. It's also amazing. When I started in the industry in 2012 or so, and there were a lot of German module manufacturers back then, right? Like Solar Worlds of the world.
Right.
And, Q-Cells at the time was a German company, right? Like there's a bunch of those guys around. They all ended up having financial issues. And China has really taken over when it comes to module manufacturing, right?
That's another part that I feel so surprised because after so many years, I have experienced so much up and downs of the solar markets. I believe that, Danny, you also experienced that, right? Witnessing some peers go bankruptcy and some grow up really quickly, rapidly, because I still remember Longia time is a wafer supplier. They went to some
Yeah.
China Sonnage and tried to sell wafer to China Sonnage. I still remember that. And do you remember the price, like when you sell the module in the market, how much you sell at, for each watt, like in 2000 back to 2013?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember the
I
price?
do. So I worked for EPC at the time. So a small, medium-sized EPC. I sold projects.
How
I
many?
think we
How much
paid
you pay
like
for the
we had
modules?
domestic content requirement in Canada too. I think it was $2.25 a watt for modules back then. So it was really really high. And panels were 225 watts, right? That's kind of what the first panels were that I sold. So we were just talking about the module pricing and kind of the development there. I was saying how the module prices have gone, in my experience, from over $2 a watt now to very low, tenth of
Yeah,
that, right?
10% of-
What you were going to say about your experience when you started in the industry? What was where were panel prices at the time, and wattages and
When I first sold the modules into Europe, I still remember that was a Italy market, and it was €4 per watt. And the customer tried to negotiate it with us. I still remember it's a 6 megawatts, so big at that time. Okay, so the customer say, okay, this is the 6 megawatts. Can we get €3.8 per watt? And my boss say, no, we have to go with 4. So I often joke to the junior member of my sales team that, the revenue of 40 megawatts sales a year ago, it's the same as 1 gigawatt today, right?
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
crazy. However, I think it's somehow a good thing for resin markets, for the people who really have that interest to put modules on the rooftop, right? Because it's affordable. It's much affordable. At that time, you only see, the B2B business. European people, when they only get a tariff from the government, they are willing to pay that money. So I think it's a good thing, right, for peoples.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of I've talked to other module manufacturers, and they're always complaining, "Oh, it's not sustainable. Lower panel prices, this and that." And yes, it makes it harder, of course, for everyone to meet their revenue targets. But at the same time, it makes solar so much more affordable to the general public, which means there's
Yeah.
more solar being installed, more jobs are being created, right? More is done for the environment. So it's having these low solar panel prices is really, really important for the industry as a whole. And we've seen a similar trend on the inverter side as well. Now we just need racking to come down. But
Aluminum cost and just material cost is the dominating factor here. And we have to look into every little piece of the puzzle. And
Yeah.
solar panels, of course, is the most visible one. Inverters a second. But then, it goes through the entire supply chain and all the parts involved.
you were saying about €4 a watt is kind of the first big project you sold at the time. What was the wattage of those panels? Do you remember?
Well, it's I don't really remember. I think it's something around 160, 150 watts.
It's crazy, right? Now Thornova has 615 watt panels that you're selling to Canada, the 78 cell format. No, 78 cell TopCon, right? That
Yeah.
is currently going out there, and a lot of 580s, 550s, things like that. So sure have come a long way.
Almost the same size, but now we are talking about 420, 425, right?
Exactly.
The size is almost the same as the old 150, 180.
Exactly. At 3 times the efficiency,
Yeah.
approximately. Yeah.
Yeah. Growing up, what was it like? Did you go to university or anything, or did you go straight into the workforce?
Of course, I told you that I went to Nanjing to spend my college life, like 7 years.
Okay.
and finished my master degrees in Nanjing.
Yeah.
And actually, my major is applied chemistry.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
I think it's kind of related to my job in solar, right? It's connected. But anyway, because I'm I'm in charge of sales and marketing. So I would not say that I'm really use the things that I learned during a college or at universities in my job, but I think it's helpful for me to really understand, what I'm selling to the customers, right? What's the technologies, what the reason behind that we can have a higher performance. So I think it's really helpful.
What made you pick the solar industry after you graduated? Because it was a small industry at that point. Why solar?
Well, I want to tell you a very interesting, like, the story that makes sense, but, very boring. I just got a interview and invite by my boss. And it's also the owner of Thornova,
Oh,
William.
okay.
William actually is my first boss in China Sonnage. Actually, the reason I got that interview is because, China Sonnage at the time is not a really like for me, it's not familiar. All the new graduates want to go to really big companies, right? International business sounds good, right? But I got an interview invite and told me that the CEO is from Dubon, right? He used to be the CEO of the Dubon China, and I say, oh my God, wow, that can be a very interesting opportunities, right? Because these guys will lead me directly. But Williams, when I got that interview, it's only William asked me several questions and asked me, do I have an understanding about solar energy? And I answered, okay. As I said, at the time, I thought it's just a water heater or something, like thermal things. And he told me, I think he's the first person explain to me what is solar about, what's the solar energy. And also Mr. Tsai, the CEO of Dubon, used to be the CEO of Dubon. Mr. Tsai is a very attractive old business person, I have to say. Well, I think the reason why I decided to join China Sonnage because of Mr. Tsai at the time.
Of course.
But, after 1 year, I think it's because of the really good, the relationship between William. William is a good boss, like a team leader, right? He's very energetic and always full of power, passions, and to encourage us to do things. So, yeah, I enjoy working with William.
You must have left quite the impression with him that he hired you again later on. And you're right. Like we've met him down in Vegas at RE Plus, right? And he definitely left an impression with us as well. He is quite charismatic and he gets stuff done, which we do appreciate. And I think that is a lot of the success with Thornova. He empowers you guys to get stuff done, right? I'm sure there's lots of responsibility that he passes on and he has high expectations, but it sounds like he lets you guys get stuff done.
Well, I have to say I do have a lot of pressures.
Yeah, of course.
Always like a work for William, but I do love this, to work with people who have like a strong insight or like let's say, how to say that, strong heart or strong power inside. I don't know how to say that. I really like to work with people with how to say the
want to get stuff
that's
done.
Kind of
right. They have big desires.
Yes, and also I think that's the reason why Thornova grows so fast in the past 3 years because of that. And William, used all his time to make our company running in the right way and to try to build up the cultures and to work with the customers, the partners, and always customer oriented kind of style. So That's also the reason why in Brazil and in Europe, the customer, even we are not like a top five, right? Normally, it's the easy choice for customer to go with top five, but sometimes when the customer decide to work with us, when they first, when they start working with us, they will realize that we are really like a kind of try to all the support and to try to do what we can do to support our partners to explore the market together. So it's more like a partnership. And we actually be rated as the preferred brand top five in Brazil. I think it's very, for me, I think it's very a big surprise because in Brazil, like 70% of markets is resi commercial. So basically, we work with like so many distributors, wholesalers in the market. So you can imagine how strong our teams and how like our team should work so hard to give that support to the local sales team in Brazil. So I'm really impressed about
same
that.
from our standpoint. We've been so far. I mean, we've worked closely together for 3/4 of a year now. We've won some big deals together. We've delivered a lot of product in the Canadian market, and the experience for us with your team has been just really, really good. The product is really good. I can share with you now, like when we were looking at Thornova, there was also some other manufacturers we were looking at bringing on, right, at the same time. And we looked at the product, compared the product, the quality. It was just the other two companies, like you saw visual differences where those two other products were not as good. Soldering that wasn't done as nice. Or some of the things that we saw was white labels on the front of a black panel, right? Like things like that just, it's not good enough from other manufacturers. And Thornova has just really blown it away and produces a really good product.
Thank you so much, Danny. I'm so happy to hear that from you. And we know that we are still a new supplier in Canada. We have a lot of things to do and a lot of things to improve. So just feel free to let us know if anything we should do.
Absolutely. We will
to make your business easier and to make the customer feel comfortable with us.
Absolutely. And we'll, we have good sales rep that we deal with as well. He's really done an excellent job at working with us. And it's, like you were saying, a real partnership, which is what it's important. I did want to ask a little bit about Thornova. A lot of people in North America are not familiar with the brand yet, right? We're working on changing that. You're working on changing that. Can you tell us a little bit about where Thornova started and how it was able to grow into, a rather large player now in the Canadian market?
Yeah. Actually, Thornova started the business from 2016. The reason why the North America people probably have never heard about that is because we just started our business since 2022, I think officially. And if the customer really Google us, actually we have a sister brand. We have a Thornova brand for American markets. Actually, our parent company, we have another name, Sunova. Sunova is a sister brand that we use for European markets and South American markets. We have delivered more than 5.5 gigawatts, I think, to the end of last year globally. Excludes American markets, okay? So I would not say we are a new player, but we are just a fresh brand for North America. The reason why we have the two brands, sister brands, is because in North America we want to celebrate, differentiate with the modules that we made in China. Okay. To make it easy for everybody to understand Thornova brand, how to differentiate Thornova and Sunova, our parent, the sister brand, is all the UL certified modules made in Vietnam or future US facilities. We will use TH brand.
Yeah.
And the modules, the TUV certified, made in China, we will use S brand.
Yeah.
So this is the way that we differentiate. You guys should know that there's two main reason. The one reason, as I said, we want to have a separate brand for North America. Another reason is that there is a financial third party, Thornova, with double N. We don't want to have any conflict with this
We
partner.
understand,
So
obviously.
that's
That
another
makes
reason.
total sense. Obviously,
Yeah.
that company has been established in the United States already, and no point in getting into some confusion. And that makes sense. I know it's obviously spelled different, but people would confuse it so much. So this is a good way to deal with that. But the brand as a whole, the company as a whole, has made modules for a while, right? There's also been some third-party manufacturing for other people, other companies, right? Is that correct?
Yes,
Originally?
we actually start our business as OEM factories. Let's say the first business of Sonova should be distributors as well in Australia.
Okay.
The founder, one of the founder, Michael, he lived in Australia and do distribution business there. And at the time, they buy module from others, and suddenly he decided to build up the factory by himself. And the reason why he used Sonova is because it's actually a small city in Australia, very beautiful city. So that's the reason why we use Sonova. It's not because of the American that we know. Okay, so he started from there. And actually, his Chinese name is from his grandparents. Just as a memory of his grandfather. The Chinese name Yinshen is actually his grandfather name.
Amazing.
So I think it's really, really nice. From 2016, he have the first 300 megawatts module capacity.
Wow.
And between 2016 2018, he do a lot of OEM, and also he make modules under Sonova brands. After 2018, we start to grow really fast, because we try to explore the markets in South America, Europe, and now in 2021, we decided to develop the North American markets. And that's the year that I joined Thornova team. But, even Thornova is a young brand, but all the people working in this company has been in the industry for decades. Like our general manager in China, to manage the productions, and also the general manager in Vietnam, both of them being in industry for more than 10 years, and work for a big player like a GCL, like JA or Jinko Vietnam. All these people are very experienced. And also the U.S. officer here, we have Gong Yan. He been in industry for like more than 10 years as a logistic director. He worked for, you can tell, almost all the top tier 1 manufacturing in the US, very experienced. So I would say everybody know what we are doing. So that's also the reason why we can grow really fast, especially William. He is, the very smart and very good sales leader, and he involved in all the sales and marketing by himself. So yeah, I'm so happy that Thornova grew really fast, and really hope that we can do the same. We can do well in North America, just like other markets.
No doubt you will. And I think the reason I was asking about it, because I think it's really important to show that, you guys have produced modules for a long time, even though the company Thornova is fairly new. The brand itself, right? Then the parent company or sister company has been around for quite a few years, but going all the way back, you guys have produced modules for other companies. People may have used your modules in the past, just a different label on there, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's important to talk about. But Alex, you have anything?
Looking at Thornova and the milestones you have achieved with the head company SunNova and now Thornova in North America, we hear larger cells, TopCon modules, all the new technologies. What milestones did you achieve in the past, and what do you see coming that are exciting changes in the module industry?
Well, I think what we have achieved, you mean technology or the
No, as a
company
business, I
side?
think.
As a business, exactly, and new introduction of product, for example. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing coming to my mind is that last year, let's say, we never did any business in China. To be honest with you, we only do OEM. But last year we delivered into Europe and South America around 2 gigawatts, like 1 gigawatt each. I think it's
That's a good
kind of
milestone.
milestone.
That is a big one.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's probably nothing for Jinko or like other players, but as a fast-growing new company, I would not say we are, brand new, but we are new compared to other top 5, top 10. But I think we did a very good job in this market, and also in Q1 we be ranked as a BNEF tier 1 because everybody know that the policy getting a little bit much more strict, like a criteria. So like 50% of the module manufacturer now not tier 1 ranking.
Yeah.
So we are
Which
still
is, I
on
think,
the
a
list.
good
So you
move.
can see that.
It's a good move by
we
Bloomberg to
develop-
kind of, it was too much, right? It was too easy to get onto. It's just, oh, give us money.
You can see that it's a really long list in the past. Right
Yeah.
now, it's almost half of the list.
Yeah.
Just because the policy getting more strict, and you need to have like 6 or 5 megawatts projects.
Yeah.
Financial by. So I think it's kind of show how we run our business well. Like we could have a good financial conditions, and also we develop quickly in the markets, and we have a good relationship with the customers, and we make them feel confident, so they decide to go with us. We always get a return order from our customers.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I really impressed. And if we talk about future, from technology, I would say 2024 will be a very interesting year because it's actually a year that transfer from PERK to TopCon. I would say in China or other markets, it's a little bit earlier.
Mhm.
We already deliver TopCon into Europe and South American markets, to be honest. And we also have a 700 watts modules, TopCon G12 modules delivered into Europe and South America. But in North America, I think it's very important years that everybody transfer from PERK to TopCon. I think it's opportunity for all the manufacturers to become in the same like stage or something. I don't know if that's the right words. That everybody have the same opportunities with the new technology. With N-type, I'd say N-type, you have TopCon, you have HAD, you have BC technology from Longyi. I'm not really professional in technology. I would say TopCon is a very good choice for now because the supply chain is much more stable, and it's easier for manufacturer to plan to arrange materials and find the right suppliers, especially in North America. It's about not only the quality, it's also about where you got these materials, the resources, right? So I think TopCon, it's absolutely the technology we decide to go with in North America. And HAT is another technology that you might have a higher performance. But right now, we still think that HAT, if we really want to develop the HAT, especially when in North America, we need to really be careful of the traceabilities and where we got our materials. So we be careful. Okay, so HAT is the technology we will pay attention to, but we will never say no to them. But now we will focus in TopCon. And to share with you our supply chain strategy in the short future and long future, Now we have a 7.5 gigawatts capacity, including the China capacity and Vietnam capacity. In Vietnam, we have now 1.5 gigawatts. And we will probably expand our capacity to 2.5 gigawatts, not more than that, because in long term, we see that we will definitely consider the US facilities. So, and also for European markets, we already JV with the local manufacturer, Omni Energy from Italy. We already ship equipment to Italy, and we will have a 2 production line in Italy as well. It's a JV, right? We will use both their brand and our brand, make modules in Italy. But for this capacity, we were mainly used in European markets. And in the US, we also JV with the Chinese leading cells manufacturers. I can disclose more information later when it's finally confirmed.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a JV with a local investor in America and also the cells manufacturer and us. So because we see that we don't have any experience to build at the production line in the US, not mention about factories, right? How to maintain the production there, how to make sure there's no policy misunderstanding, how to find the workers, and a lot of things what we need to be careful. And also the IRA policy, that's really something that we have understand correctly. So that's the reason why we are now working with the local investors. So now our plan is to have a 3 gigawatts, 4 big production line in the US. We have decided to have that factory built up in Texas. Okay, I can disclose that information. Actually, we consider South Carolina and we consider Little Rock. We have consider different location, but now finally we decided to have that factory built up in Texas because that we have more confidence to have to find the right person to have a relationship with the local government. I don't know if that's a thing that I should.
I think it's really
But anyway,
important. It's really important to have the right people you're working with, right? I think that overall in business, it's so important. We ourselves are opening a warehouse in Calgary, and finding the right people there for us is, I mean, it's the same country, but it's it's distance, right? So you got to make sure the people that are there, you got to trust them, and they got to be the right people, right?
Right. And this factories, we plan to have this ready in 2025. And if in long term we see that's necessary, then we will have that sales capacity, like the same sales capacity in the same location from 2026.
Okay.
But now it's just not sure for this. Module capacity is absolutely something we plan to do. But the sales, it's about permitting, it's about policy, it's about IRA, it's also about election this year. So we want to be careful. So this is actually our plan in long term, the supply chain in global markets. So that's something I want to share. And for the all new capacity, we will only go with TopCon right now.
Okay. That makes sense. And I mean, I think you guys were the, not including like LG N-type mono back in the day or anything like that, but I think you guys were the first to really bring TopCon into the Canadian market in volume. So, we're excited about that. Product's very popular here with us and our partners, right? So we're excited about that. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is currently there's a lot of the situation with the border, right, and the forced labor, silicon manufacturing. How does Thornova address this? How can our customers or partners be sure that there's not going to be any issues as far as the manufacturing is concerned? And what are you guys seeing on the border?
Well, yes, I first of all, thanks so much for your information. Because Jager told me that you guys share the information with us, and we know this at the very first time, early stage.
Early stage,
How to
yeah.
say that?
Yeah.
Very, yeah. We got all the full information when the container be like held in the customs. Actually, we noticed that since last year. We know that in Canada, earlier or later, there's things just like American. So we be careful. We decided to start to explore this business, the markets in Canada. Well, I think it's a good thing as a new brand because when we decided to start business in this market, let's say North America, we already noticed that it's very important. So let's say we have no bad records, right? From the beginning that we start delivering the module into no matter United States and Canada, we know that we have to be careful in when we choose the suppliers. So let's say each of these pallets or containers we deliver into North America and Canada, we know where we got our cells and materials. And we only choose the suppliers who are qualified enough, show us like a solid traceability records, or we will take reference from third party, how their records in United States or Canada. So I think it's a good thing for us because we have no bad records, and also we know, we have to be prepared from the beginning. So we, to be honest with you, I never feel any. I feel confidence, right? Even our containers be held in the customs, we will send the right documents within 24 hours because we always get this document prepared. The only concern is that it's never happened before, right? We try to understand what kind of document or right document we should prepare if things happened. But now I think because we never have that bad record. Let's say we never did like deliver more than 1 gigawatts into no matter United States or Canada. So I think we are fine. We're not in the targets. So I
Yeah,
think
when
it's a
nothing
good thing
has
for us.
been selected as of right now, but we do have, I believe you guys provided us with a letter stating that there's no forced labor in any of your products.
Right.
And then also we have confidence that you guys are able to provide the documentation needed. You guys are providing DDP terms, right, to us. So you're confident that you're not going to have any issues either. So we like that approach, right? I think we've seen some other manufacturers that have turned around all their container ships or all their containers go back to Vietnam because I don't think they're confident that they will get through the scrutiny that they're being challenged with, right? So I think it's important to have confidence in partners, and all the manufacturers that we work with, including Thornova, we're very confident in that you guys are meeting that there's not any use of forced labor.
Well, Danny, I have to say that because in the past 2 years, the market's so busy, especially in the United States. So you see a lot of the new suppliers coming to the markets. I think that sometimes the customers feel like, they feel like, okay, there's a new brand. How can I choose from those, right? So when they have like a bad experience with some new brand, they feel, okay, maybe I go with like the brands I heard for like 10 years. So I think it's good things or bad things, right? For new brands. However, as I said, we are a company have a global vision. So that's the reason why I wanted to share that, we are not a company only in here. We are like, we have a business everywhere. So that's make us feel that we have to be really careful when we make decisions because it's a long term. business. We don't want to be like speculators, right? To do the wrong things in each market. Especially in North America, it's the market that's very important for us in the following 5 years. And we are a company always plays a significant focus on those things like traceabilities and sustainable futures and things. So not only that we propel by ourselves, we also invite third party like CED, PI Berlin, and now these days we are working with STS in their programs. Actually, we already have the ESG reports that expect, there is like a government framework ensure that our sustainable procurement practice and also the employee benefits and everything. And also they have a part of traceability things to check. And we got a very high score with PI Berlin. I think we got probably I don't, I cannot share that, but we got a above average score in their traceability programs. And also we're working now with CEA in North America. So I think that it's a very good way for us to really understand that how we can improve in our no matter factories when we choose the suppliers and when we face what we should do in the U.S. custom and everything. So all with all these things we have done, I think just make us feel confident.
I think you were mentioning earlier, we were talking a little bit about the solar market and how much turnover there has been on the module manufacturer side of things, right? If you go back 10, 15 years, and a lot of the big players are not around anymore. So the bankability is important, but I think what I really like how Thornova has addressed some of that is partnering with companies like Munich Re for third party warranty, right? Having that background or that backing, I should say, that's huge. If you're looking at installing a project, those companies are not going anywhere, regardless of what happens to the solar industry, right? Those companies are going to be around. And as a business owner, knowing that the panels on your roof are backed by such a company, that's a big, confidence booster of choosing Thornova panels.
Yes, actually, we are working now with the two reinsurance company, Arrow Ray and Munich Ray. But we understand that, especially in North America, people are much more familiar with the Munich Ray. So we decided to go with Munich Ray because they're very clear policy that's shown to the customers, and they do have local team that customer always can access to them to if they have any question, they can call directly to their people in here in North America to understand what kind of benefits, right, they have, or if there's any problems, how they can work with the manufacturers or Munich Ray. Yes, of course, we try to do all the things to make our customer feel that we are serious players. Yeah, we want to be a partner.
In recent times, we've seen a significant reduction in solar panel pricing on the price per watt. Why do you think that happened so quickly and it's happening right now?
That's a very big question. We can talk about it for hours, but to make it short, I think it's maybe three main reasons. The first reason is that the market this year compared to last year or the year before, it's a kind of slowdown globally. Not only not only North America, the United States, for reasons, right? Because the high interest rate, because the overdeveloped in the past few years, and also because the projects in the new states like Texas, the permitting and everything it's not that quick. It's getting slow, and also the resin market is not as busy as like the past few years because of the net metering change in California, and also in Europe and China markets. The markets is not. It's a kind of like I would say this is kind of cooled down a little bit globally, and at the same time, you see that the polysilicon capacity hugely released, like a capacity release finally from last year, the end of last year. Actually, a lot of people start to investing in polysilicon in China. We see that it's actually everywhere. Like if you've been in China, if you in solar industry, you heard a lot of the new company invest in solar. They used to be the milk factories, or they are doing like radios or TV, and they want to invest in solar because the industry is so busy at the time. A lot of the margin is good, so a lot of hot money go into the industry. So the polysilicon, like 2 years ago, there's a lot of money going to the polysilicons. But polysilicon, it takes time. It's a heavy investment. It's take more than 1.5 years to really have that factory built up and everything. So after 2 years, finally last year, the capacity released. However, the market kind of slowed down. So if you remember, from the end of 2023, I think the prices, start going down, right? From that point. Actually, in China, you can feel it a little bit earlier than that. The sales price going down from the middle of the year. But now, as you can see, the polysilicon price. Yesterday I just checked the price. It's now like 60, compared to 300s. Mm-hmm. When it's really like in a high peak, like a high price level, right? So the price, I will say, it's dropped really fast and dropped quickly by the end of 2023. At the very beginning, I think the module manufacturer tried to, like a cells manufacturer and wafers manufacturer, tried to keep the price level, don't drop as quickly as the polysilicon. There's no way. The foundry realized that, they don't like reduce their price. They always have that. They have a heavy inventory.
Yeah. Right.
So at the end, they have to deal with this inventory at a very low price. If you've been in China, you've heard that sometimes the cells manufacturer, they even deal with their inventory, like a sales products at a price even lower than wafer price, which means that they keep losing money. They keep losing their money. If they want to keep production, they keep losing money because they buy high price wafer, but they can only sell their products at a price even lower than wafer price. But the difficulties for the cells manufacturer is that they cannot 100% like stop. They have to keep the production at least 50%. Otherwise, it will spend much more when they decided to restart their production. So I think the main reason, as I said, is oversupply, and compared to the markets kind of slow down a little bit. And also because that the harsh competition in China market, some of the manufacturer, they finally decided to move their capacity to Southeast Asia and try to do North American markets. Okay, so you can see that the price in North America start dropping really quickly from after January.
Last year.
I think in December you never expect to have the price like in United States lower than 25, right? But now it's 25 for PERK.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's even lower in
Actually,
European market.
yeah.
It's we're talking single digit, right? In cents. In Canadian market, it's lower than the U.S. because we don't have as many tariffs here as does the U.S. It allows for Chinese-made cells, for example, as well here. I think the other interesting thing, if you look at the tier one list, not including the newest one, but like going into like Q4 of last year, I think there were over 750 gigawatts worth of capacity on there from all the different manufacturers. If you look, even if you go two years back, there was just a little bit over 200 gigawatts on there. So it kind of gives you a good idea how much the manufacturing has grown. And then what we also saw going back to COVID times is we saw prices were low 2020. And then we saw everyone wanted to build solar, and halfway through COVID, right? There was a war in Ukraine, so European market was getting super hot. Everyone was worried about
right.
the market.
The market is just double the size.
Exactly, and then there was shortages because the China had all the lockdowns, right? So there was not as much panels being produced as usual, right? So we actually saw a price hike of like 25% during COVID, and what goes up must come down, right? So then it went down even further below of where the panel prices was, right? And another 25% down. So now we had a 50% price drop in Canada within about a year or so. Which is obviously huge. We're muted again.
Well, actually, Danny, you know that this doesn't matter that the price going down, like go to that level, but we don't want to see that price like go up and down, right? It's not good for manufacturer, for the supply chain. It's also not good for the end market, for the customers, and especially for the distributors like you guys. So we want to make sure that what we are looking for is like a stable, right? And we think that in 2024, there's no chance to have that up and down anymore. This is a good thing, right? And a lot of speculators who think that they can make easy money were probably like quit from the market. They were quit. So I would say at least after Q2, right, the markets will get back to normal, not like as crazy as last year, like go crazy high or crazy low, right, to be in balance. So
Cool.
Honestly, we can see a bit much more healthy environment, right, in the industry. We don't want to see so many changes.
But that's why they call it the solar coaster, right? And I hate the term, but people always say it. It seems to always go that way, right? But you know what? It's also fun, and that's why we love doing this, because if it was the same all the time, it would get boring, right? So having these challenges thrown in our way, and it makes it more difficult, but it also because it makes it more difficult, it makes it more interesting, and people that are good at their job, and the companies that are good at their job, they're going to stand out, and that's one of the reasons we have partnered with Thornova, is because we like how you guys do business. And we're not just talking pricing or any of that, but it's just the overall business, how it's run, being on the forefront of changes, bringing on TopCon early to the Canadian and the US market. And just the overall support that that we're getting as a distributor is really, really good, and that's why partnering is with someone like you guys is big for us.
Thank you. And you never get bored in North America, right?
No.
You never get bored.
Not in this industry.
It's the International Women's Day today, and a question for you, since you're very successful in your career as a managing partner of Thornova. Do you have advice to young people, especially women today in the industry, how to be part of the solar industry?
Well, focus on yourself, right? And don't try all the opportunities and try to do things. Never like give up just because of you're a woman. You think that you probably cannot you have no chance to win or anything like that. Just try all the opportunities and try to do all your best. And I think that's all the advice I have to all the young ladies.
Awesome, Lily. Thank you for that. That basically wraps it up from us as far as questions are concerned. How can people get in touch with you? If do you have a LinkedIn account, for example, or something like that, where people can reach out if they have any questions regarding Thornova or yourself?
Yes, I have all the social medias accounts, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagrams. They always can find me easily with the Lily Lee or Thornova.
Yeah, that's how I found you, with Lily. And Thornova as well on the LinkedIn account as well. So again, thank you so much. Alex and I will be back soon as well with a new guest. Again, thanks so much, Lily, and happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.